In light of the new season that just dropped June 27, today we're going to be taking a little bit of a deep dive and a little bit of a look into Squid Game. Squid Game follows our protagonist Gi-hyun, a depressed, drunkard, and deadbeat dad who lives with his mom, who gets an offer from this crazy dude in a subway to play dachi to get into a game to get him out of debt. Things aren't as innocent as they appear. The competition involves a series of childhood-inspired games, ones you might remember playing when you were young, if you're Korean. But in this world, losing isn't just disappointing, it's dangerous. Very dangerous. As the games go on, the show dives deep into each character's backstory, why they're there and what they're fighting for, and what they're willing to do to survive. It's not just a survival story, it's a psychological roller coaster. It's packed with suspense, emotions, and moments that will leave you questioning what you would do in that same situation. Squid Game stands out as it blends high-stakes action with a surprisingly deep social commentary touching on class struggles, morality, and how society treats people who are struggling. Today we are going to be talking about how Season 1 stacks up to Season 3 and if Season 3 is better, worse, or just as good. We're going to give a quick recap on Season 1 for those who haven't seen it. If you have seen it or you don't want to be spoiled, you should probably skip ahead. I don't know the timestamp. I'm not that experienced in this yet, but we'll figure that one out. Starting off with Season 1, our story starts with Sung Gi-hyun, a divorced, debt-ridden man living with his aged mother. He's struggling to make ends meet, gambling away whatever money he already has, and is failing to be there for his daughter. One day, a mysterious man in a subway station offers him the chance to win some money by playing a game. After a few painful slaps and a strange business card, Gi-hyun is invited to a secret competition. Not strange at all. Not weird in the slightest. He wakes up in a massive color-coded dorm with 455 other contestants, all in debt and all desperate. The rules are simple. Win 6 games, walk away with cash, but during the game, when they lose, they don't just lose money or lose the turn, they actually die. They find this out pretty quickly by playing the first game, which is a quick game of red light, green light, which losers get shot for. Kind of fun. Sounds interesting. After the shocking first game, some players want out, obviously, and a vote is held. An elderly man with a brain tumor votes to end the game. Everyone is sent home. But upon returning home, Gi-hyun is forced to face the reality that he left behind, or, well, tried to leave behind. It's not long before all characters come to the same realization, going home and realizing that real life isn't a very good alternative to the game. So they all go back. They all go back to the motherfucking game. They go on to play another series of games, which includes a game where they try and cut a shape out of a sugar cookie, which apparently is harder than it looks, and some of them are put with some pretty peculiar shapes. What the fuck is that? They all manage to, well, not all, but most of them manage to get the shape out of their cookie with either cheating, pure luck, or doing some weird shit. Oh my god. Third game is a massive game of tug and war where contestants on each side have to pull the other team across and the whole losing team dies. In my opinion, this one's unfair because they're playing with an old man and 2 women. I don't want to be that guy, but are we really expecting those parties to do much against a bunch of grown men who are fighting for their lives? Thanks to plot armor, though, and a little bit of strength, Gi-hyun's team ends up surviving. So yeah, I completely forgot. There's this whole other side plot, by the way, with this random cop who's actually related to the bad guy of the entire show.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Yeah, he does a whole bunch of weird shit. This guy, yeah. You don't see him very often. And when you do, bad shit's always happening. Anyway, back to the game. The third, or I think we're on the fourth game now. It's unclear. A bunch of games happen that, I don't know, just kind of happen for the sake of happening. But this one I count as a game. The marble game.
No! God, please, no! No! No!
Anyone that's seen this show remembers the marble game. Even the word marble should incite a deep sense of fear and sadness in you for what happens in this episode. They play a slightly more confusing game in which a player, I'm pretty sure, has to steal his partner's marbles. Something like that. I don't know. They kind of explain it, but I never actually understood it. I think one player has to have more marbles at the end of the time limit, or I don't know, because this girl dies, and she dies because she doesn't have marbles. I don't know. The point is, a couple sad things happen here, and a couple key points is this dude is killed by this dude. This guy murders him, basically. Or beats him in the game intentionally and has him killed. I'll never forgive him for that one. Gi-hoon's not much better because the old man pretends to have dementia and basically lets him win the game by offering him an out. They're all scumbags here. So I'm skipping the weird relationship between this girl and the crime boss because it felt strange, awkward, and I just don't want to talk about it. VIPs are another thing. Those are a completely different story. These guys are a group of elites, rich people who are the ones funding the game and the ones watching the game. You watch through their eyes as they watch the contestants play the fifth game where they jump on glass panels, one with fake glass and one with real glass, and see how far they can make it. A lot of people die here, and it's kind of fucked up. I don't know if it's my fear of heights or what it is, but when people... when this kind of shit happens, it tweaks me out. And this part was good. This is the ending of their story. They had this weird relationship, and now they do this. This was crazy to me. The ultimate get back, though. I was pretty happy. Anyway, the VIPs watch this from afar and watch as the game unfolds, and only a handful of players are actually left in the end. This, by the way, is probably my favorite shot of the entire show, the glass blowing up. But anyway, the glass blowing up hurt Sabyuk, and now there's only 3 of them left. This dude, this guy, and this guy. There's also a girl left, but this dude... I count him as one of the more important characters because he's the only one with the real plot. This plot that doesn't really go anywhere, but still is fun to look at in the first season because it kind of feels like you're leading to somewhere. Anyway, not to sound bitter or anything, but this happens. Junho realizes that this is his brother and it sets him on his path for the 3rd season. That's effectively the end of his arc in this season. So, if you don't remember, there's 3 of them left. Gi-hoon, Sabyuk, and Sang-woo. Sabyuk and Gi-hoon form a friendship and talk about their lives on the outside, and Sabyuk informs him of a younger brother she has back in China, and asks him if he gets her to the game, if he could please find her. He agrees and realizes that he needs to get her to the game for both her sake and his sake, and goes to warn the guards. She loses consciousness, but by the time the guards come in, it's too late. Sang-woo has killed her. An enraged Gi-hoon goes to attack Sang-woo, but is interrupted. Basically saying, leave it for the final game, guys. Like, what are we doing here? The final game, they play a game. Guess what the game's called? It's called Squid Game. Haha. They play a game called Squid Game for the last game. It's kind of funny, isn't it? Anyway, they basically have this crazy climactic battle in the end of the Squid Game because the Squid Game involves fighting, even though it's a children's game. And Gi-hoon gets the upper hand, but is unable to kill his best friend. He realizes that in order to win the game, one of them still has to die. And Sang-woo, in his last respectable action, decides to kill himself rather than living, I guess. Anyway, that's effectively the end of the games. 456 is now the winner and has returned home with millions of dollars. Though it doesn't really matter to Gi-hoon as he's lost everything and doesn't truly believe that he's worthy of the money he just won. So he spends a year basically being a bum and an asshole, a little alcoholic. But it's understandable until he gets an invite from, oh, look who's alive. Oh, look who it is. Mr. Old Man was really a creator the entire time. Rightfully so, Gi-Hyun is pissed and proceeds to ask him why he did it. The old man replies that he was simply bored. Being rich and overcoming all the challenges of the world, he needed something to make him feel alive again. Gi-Hyun decides to dye his hair red and go on this crazy redemption arc of finding Sabyuk's younger brother and repaying all the debts that he's had. He has his old neighbor, which is kind of strange, raise the kid, and he goes on to do his own thing. On the way back to the U.S. to see his daughter, Gi-Hyun runs into the same man who started him along his journey to go into the game, and he decides to himself that he's going to return back to the game and end it once and for all. Well, that's effectively the ending of Season 1 of Squid Game. Now, yeah, what do I give that season? Solid 8.5 out of 10. I liked it very, very much.
Don't be but I fuck in your home.